Question 15. Okay, so y is 1/64th of x cubed, and in part A, I need to write an expression for y to the power of a third, which is, of course, the cube root of y. So I need to find the cube root of 1/64th of x cubed. Well, the cube root of 64 is 4, so the cube root of 1/64th is a quarter, and the cube root of x cubed is x. Right, part B. I need to write down an expression for 4y to the power of minus 1. Right, well, y to the power of minus 1 is simply the reciprocal of y. Y is x cubed over 64, so y to the power of minus 1 is 64 over x cubed. And so 4y to the power of minus 1 is 4 times 64 over x cubed, which is, if I do 4 times 64 on my calculator, 256. And 1 over x cubed is x to the power of minus 3. So there's question 15 sorted. Question 16. Right, I start off with 5 over root 75 minus root 50. Let's start by simplifying the denominator of that fraction. Root 75 is root 25 times 3, and root 50 is root of 25 times 2. So that's going to be 5 over 5 root 3 minus 5 root 2. I could divide top and bottom by 5, which would give me 1 on the top, root 3 minus root 2 on the bottom. Right, I'm going to rationalise the denominator now. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by root 3 plus root 2. Okay, so on the top, I'm going to have 1 times root 3 plus root 2. And on the bottom, I'm going to have root 3 times root 3 is 3. Middle terms disappear. Minus root 2 times root 2 is minus 2. So I'm left with root 3 plus root 2 over 1, which is simply root 3 plus root 2. That's question 16. Done. Question 17. I have to expand and simplify root 11 minus 5 multiplied by 5 minus root 11. Let's have a look at this. Well, I'm going to have root 11 times 5, which gives me 5 root 11. And then I'm going to have root 11 multiplied by minus root 11 gives me minus 11. Minus 5 times 5 is minus 25. And minus 5 times minus root 11 is plus 5 root 11. So if I look at that, I've got 10 root 11s minus 36. Question 18. I have to factorise this expression completely. What I'm going to do to start with is to look for a common factor. X goes in to everything here. Right, now can I factorise that any further? Well, 1 is a square number, and 64x squared is a square number. So I've got the difference of 2 squares there. So it's going to be the square root of 1 plus the square root of 64x squared, and then 1 minus the square root of 64x squared. Okay, so I'm going to start with 27 to the power of 2x plus 1, and I have to write that in the form of 3 to the power of something. Well, 27 is 3 cubed. So what I've got is I've got 3 cubed to the power of 2x plus 1. So using my rules of indices, that will be the same as 3 to the power of 3 times 2x plus 1, which is, of course, 3 to the power of 6x plus 3. So express 27 to the power of 2x plus 1 in the form 3 to the y, stating y in terms of x. Very well. Y is 6x plus 3. Question 20. I've got to solve the equation 8 plus x times root 12 equals 8x over root 3. Well, this is just an equation with fractions, and I'm going to multiply everything by root 3 just to get rid of that root 3, which is on the bottom there. So that's 8 times root 3 plus x times root 12 times root 3 equals 8x over root 3 multiplied by root 3, just 8x. So I've got 8 root 3 plus x times root 36 equals 8x. Aha, look at that. So I'm going to have 8 root 3 plus 6x, because root 36 is 6, equals 8x. Right, subtract 6x from both sides. 2x equals 8 root 3. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 4 root 3. There we go. Equation solved. Question 21. My rectangle has an area of root 12 and a length of 1 plus root 3, and I have to calculate the width. So I'm going to need to work out the area divided by the length. Okay, so that's what I've got to simplify. I'm going to start by rationalising the denominator. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 1 minus root 3. Okay, that's going to give me root 12 minus root 12 times root 3 all over, right, 1 times 1 is 1, middle terms disappear, plus root 3 times minus root 3 is minus 3. So I'm going to be left with 12, which, by the way, is 2 root 3 minus, well, root 12 times root 3 is root 36, so that's 6 all over minus 2. So I simply have to divide the numerator by minus 2. So my answer is going to be 3 minus root 3. Okay, 21 done. Question 22. Right, well, I'm going to mess around with this expression and hope that I end up with something which looks like what the question is specifying I should end up with. So I'm going to have 2 minus root x multiplied by 2 minus root x all over root x. Right. Well, multiplying out those brackets, I'm going to have 2 times 2 is 4, minus 2 root x minus another 2 root x, and then plus x. And that's all over root x. Right, let's use powers, shall we? Because I see that my desired answer is using powers. So I'm going to have 4 minus 4x to the power of a half plus x all over x to the power of a half. So that's going to be, let's split that up, 4 divided by x to the power of a half minus 4x to the power of a half divided by x to the power of a half plus x divided by x to the power of a half. Right. First term there, 4x to the power of minus a half. Minus, the x to the halves cancel, 4, plus, this is x to the 1, divided by x to the half, so I subtract the indices, leaves me with x to the half. And if I compare that with what I was asked to find, I see that I've done it. Question 23. I have to write 243 multiplied by root 3 as 3 to the power of something. Well, 243, that's 81 times 3. So I've got 81 times 3 times root 3. 81 is 9 times 9. So I've got 9 times 9 times 3 times root 3. 9 is 3 squared, so I've got 3 squared times 3 squared times 3, and I'll write that as 3 to the half. Now I'm dealing only in base 3. I'm multiplying together expressions, so I can simply add the indices. 3 to the power of 2, 4, 5, 5 and a half. So I could write that as 3 to the power of 11 over 2. And so my value of A is 5.5 or 11 over 2. Question 24. Right, let's start off with 4x cubed plus x to the power of 5 over 2. And I'm dividing that by x to the power of a half. So that can be written as 4x squared divided by x to the power of a half plus x to the power of 5 over 2 divided by x to the power of a half. Right, when I divide, I subtract my powers. So I'm going to have 4 x to the power of 2.5, which I'll write as 5 over 2, plus x to the power of 5 halves minus a half gives me x to the power of 4 halves, which is, of course, just x squared. So the value of A is 5 over 2, and the value of B is 2.